Yo, what's good? What's good? Good morning, everyone. Thank you guys for being here today. I was actually looking at a trade. Not gonna lie, I was looking at a trade, but I'm probably gonna be done for today because I did end up trading and I gave 1% up, so I'm gonna be chilling. I hit my daily drawdown, but I did take a long right here. I'll show you guys real quick before we dive into the rest of the charts. I did take a long here out of this imbalance, out of these imbalances right here that kind of overlap. The one that came down, swept the low, and then this one right here, this bullish one right here. So I did go long here, stop loss below the low, the imbalance. It just took me out. Just barely took me out. Yeah. It's just that the 5 minute still bearish. And we could just go above this 5 minute high and then just continue falling. Honestly. But I literally just barely took me out of the out of the long as soon as right before I hopped on here. Like a minute or two before I hopped on here. It took me out of the long. But I do believe that we're going to continue shorting off. I do have this imbalance marked out. I was about to short it, but I blew my daily parameter. I've already lost my 1%. That's as much. That's like a max for me, is the 1%. Yeah. So, let's see. I'll show you guys too here. On NASDAQ, I went long over here as well. Stop loss below the low of the imbalance. So I went long twice. Right here. On this one, I went long twice. And then it came back, hit me out. So I was down 0.66% right there. And then on this one, another 0.33%. So it put me right at 1%. Puts me right at 1% for the day. So I took 3 trades. Tried to do the long setup both times and it just didn't work out. Now it's going long pretty well. We'll see what ends up doing. NASDAQ's like that. See, markets clap me today. No. Oh, yeah. It's all good. As long as they don't clap you for more than your percentage, then honestly, you can just clap back. The way that I look at it is give yourself enough room to clap back. And sometimes you need a different day to clap back, for sure. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you guys the 2 losing trades that I took. Yeah, so one was below this previous daily low. We accumulated on the 15-minute. I even told my girl, I was like, this is just too obvious. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the opening of the market. I told my wife, I was just like, it's just too obvious of a long. But I took it anyways. And then once we swept like its internal liquidity, I took it again. So I added like double the risk on this one. Ended up hitting me out at break even. No worries there. Then you have this trade right here. This bearish imbalance to me is holding down all the bearishness here. So I am short overall to the lows right here on NASDAQ. Anyways, when I was in the longs, I was like, damn, these shorts on Dow, the shorts on Dow and SPX were super clean off the 1 hour. It's just straight up off the 1 hour right there. We had clear objectives to the downside. Right there. Like that right there to me was the cleanest play today. Like, this is stuff right here that I personally don't have 100% clarity on seeing when it's while it's printing. I usually get caught on the opposite side of the trade. And so these are days that I'm personally backtesting as of lately, where usually these are the types of days that get me on the opposite side of the trade. And so I want to analyze and see what are the characteristics of these types of days, and how can I avoid being on the opposite side and see that we're printing to the upside. Because yeah, no, Dow, just a couple seconds ago, Dow was like this. Dow was just up here. I mean, just a couple of hours ago. And then we woke up, and then next thing you know, this thing's like down here, right? And it's just so close to the lows that it's an obvious target, right? And so I got caught up on NASDAQ without looking at Dow. I just got caught up on NASDAQ. I didn't even look at Dow, but Dow was an obvious short. So it's just a reminder for anybody like doing their trades based off one analysis, go through all three. Yeah, but to me, honestly, if we were to go long today, it'd be NAS, no matter what. No matter how you slice it, NASDAQ is the only one that has been chilling in discount. Right? So for me, if there was anything to go long, would be NAS. Dow is still in premium, so it just makes sense to go short. S&P this morning was in premium, or last night was in premium, and then we just continue dumping. But yeah, no, I'm still long overall. I do believe that some longs are going to play out today. Just going to be patient and wait for like an actual really nice break of structure, a really nice signs of bullishness, one where we're probably like, cool, we're still in discount, we're low enough that we're on discount, but high enough that it's obvious that we're done dropping. You know what I mean? So there has to be a clear indication that we're done going lower. Otherwise, we're just going to see more lower price action. Dow, on the other hand, we did sweep previous daily lows, previous weekly low as well. And I personally don't think that Dow is going to go any lower. That's just me. I don't think that Dow is the one that's going to go 50% or lower, given that S&P and NASDAQ have already hit liquidity levels, very strong liquidity, internal liquidity levels on the daily and weekly. So, and we're pretty deep in discount on both ends. So just kind of, for me at least, I want to start seeing some longs play out on either NASDAQ or S&P. So I'm still not giving up on the longs. I do believe that we can get some nice long opportunities. Give me one sec. I'm going to... One sec. I'm going to log in real quick to my account. Let me switch that screen real quick. Alright, sorry about that. I have to do that just because I gotta log in right there, right in the middle of my trading view. Okay. So yeah, for me, I'm seeing longs, but I just don't see them as of yet. We're just too deep in discount, but there's nothing that screams bullishness yet. I mean, everything's still shorting. See how we came above this internal liquidity? Honestly, the shorts again to the lows just kind of keep making sense. Dow, I feel the exact same way. You know, I know we're accumulating and all that stuff, guys, but I'm just not convinced yet. Once there's like undeniable truth that we're ready to go long, I'll look at it. Until then, we just gotta let it be. You know, I wanted to see this break right here on DXY, and now we got it. So we do got the break on DXY. For shorts. I've been wanting to see this thing short all day today. Just looking at the 4-hour right here, though. Maybe we come back down for all of these lows. Yeah, there has to just be an undeniable truth that we're going long. For now, even though DXY is dumping, these other guys are struggling to move any higher. Excuse me. Okay. So with that, we're just going to dive into yesterday's price action. Yesterday's price action was nice. We do have news and CPI news this week on Thursday for the dollar. And then some more red folders on Friday. So just beware that Thursday and Friday have some red impact folders. Truly starting to think that we're going to take this out as an internal liquidity level just to get back down. Bullish objectives. For me, at least, I'm still looking to see if we respect this imbalance right here on the left. And it looks like, honestly, we are still just respecting it. It looked like we were going to go for that high. DXY said, psych, we went to this high instead and then started giving us this 1 hour distribution. Yesterday, I was pretty short for the day. I wanted to see those equal lows get clapped, and we ended up just not going for it at all. But that's really where our long bias came from, was yesterday's short on DXY. And you can kind of see over here on SPX, just kind of looking at this accumulation, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay, we come down into previous area of accumulation. Okay, we accumulate to the upside, creating this insufficiency here. And this is really where our long bias came from yesterday. And there goes NAS again, or SPX to the lows again. Our short or long bias yesterday came from that imbalance on the 1 hour. Then we had price action come back into it one more time. We'll see right here. There it was. We come into it, take out that internal liquidity, we create some imbalances to the upside, and we took this imbalance right here. We wanted to take this one, but we took this one right here to the high. Right there. Super clean, easy, long opportunity based off the short bias that we had on DXY. So today I had a long bias on DXY. A short bias on DXY, sorry. I had a short bias on DXY. That's why I tried a long NAS. Still, again, I'm still long on indices. I just don't see it longing yet. If we are going to long, it's sure as hell struggling to do so. Okay, let me look at the comments real quick. Markets clapped me today. Damn. Said just got in on the stream. You took the longs too. I got clapped twice. Same, bro. No worries. It's all good. NAS hit discount on the discount side on the daily range. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are definitely in discount on NAS. Okay, we definitely are, but we just gotta keep waiting. Be patient. Be patient. This week's gonna be patient. It's going to be a matter of being patient. Whoever's most patient will end up getting paid this week. If you don't get paid this week, just know that you ran out of patience. All right. Shit. Sorry. It's a big old stretch. Okay. So, yeah. No, honestly, on CPI week, just take it slow, take it easy. I'm not looking to hold anything, not looking to go heavy on anything. Just in and out trade. I was looking for some shorts. I just couldn't position myself in the short anywhere as of yet, but I am still looking at this continuing to go towards these lows. Just look at that. Telling me that's not bearish? Yeah. So, got some gold longs. Nice. And it's too deep in discount to short. But Dow isn't. Alright. Let's get on with the stream. So, for CPI, we're going to go to the higher time frames. If we're going to look at for CPI outlooks, let's dive into the higher time frames. Let's do an intermarket analysis. Okay. I'm going to pull up all three. And then we're going to take this off my executions. Let's see. NASDAQ, Dow. And there it is. Okay. It looks a lot better now. All right, guys. So, looking at NASDAQ, we are bearish. Okay. NASDAQ is super bearish. On a weekly perspective, honestly, the only liquidity levels that I'd look at is this one to that one. We're super deep in discount. The next liquidity objective are obviously these two right here. And we could be heading towards that, right? Look at it on a monthly perspective across the board. Monthly perspective across the board. We're at a higher high on NASDAQ. We're at a lower high on S&P. And we're at a higher high on Dow. Okay. On Dow, internal liquidity is all the way down here. On NASDAQ, we have a long way that we can still drop. Okay, but our previous monthly low is right there. Previous monthly low is right there on S&P. And previous monthly low on NASDAQ is Dow Jones is all the way down here. So now looking at it realistically, which one's the one that's closest to hitting theirs? Level of liquidity. Realistically. NASDAQ, right? Okay, so we're going to get Dow out of the question. Okay, and we're going to drop down to the weekly. Give me 1 second. I want to see what low that is. Okay, it just happens to be that very low that we're talking about within our range. Okay, the only liquidity objective that we have left within our range. So NASDAQ shorts until that zone just kind of makes sense. Because again, we have a monthly imbalance that we could accumulate from down there. And still respect this whole structure point. Give me 1 second. 1 second. My wife's about to head out. I'm going to just say it out of here. All right. Jesus, she's heading out hella late. She goes into work at 11 a.m. Eastern. I know we live like 5 minutes away from her job, but damn. I'm a super punctual individual. I'm not going to lie to you guys. If you tell me we're going to, party starts at 6, I'm the guy that shows up at 6. You know how you always say, no one's going to show up at 6. I'm him. I'm the one that show up at 6, bro. For reals. So when I see her, she goes into work in 3 minutes. She's barely leaving home. We live 5 minutes away. Like, I get we're really close, but damn, bro. Oh man. Yeah, I'm very punctual. I can't do stuff like that. My homies tell me to hang out. I'm like, all right. Just letting you know, if you tell me a time, I'll be there. I don't run on this fashionably late schedules that a lot of people run on. Okay, anyways, let's keep going. All right, so Nasdaq is pretty close to that low of the range. Now let's look over here on Dow or S&P. S&P, the low of that month. Let's go back to that monthly. I want to see where the low of that month is on S&P as well, because realistically we're looking at similar objectives. So S&P is looking at us at the similar low. Now S&P is pretty far away from it. Okay, we don't necessarily need to hit that on S&P for us to go back bullish. Why? Because the liquidity here, 50% and below, is this previous weekly low, so we can really launch from here. Okay. But this is the range, and we're just noting the liquidity on the low end of the range. Okay. I want to also acknowledge that we're trading within a new week opening gap here. You guys see how this weekly and open differently? That's where it's trading into on S&P right now. Okay, that's kind of what we've been trading into. Maybe that's a level of support to note, but I'm just going to note everything that's 50% and below. We're also going to note this bullish, this order block here. Okay, let's go. Yep. And then we're going to note the fact that S&P, if we continue to drop, we're going to leave a nice bearish imbalance to the upside. Okay. And if we were to close below this low, this imbalance, I'd be bearish at that point. But really, this week's going to be a great definer as to whether we're going to continue moving lower or we're going to actually turn around and continue moving to the upside. Now, let's go visit Dow, because Dow's the one that's different than most of these. Okay. Dow is still 50%, well into premium price action. 50% and below is this one, and then the monthly previous low is all the way down here. So again, Dow is the furthest one away from any chance of getting that low right now. Okay. Let's go down to the daily. Give me one sec. Have my London close alarm. Okay. Okay, so now, shit. We got Nasdaq. Nasdaq hit this this objective here. Give me one sec. Let me delete the other one. There we go. Okay, so we've already noted where Nasdaq is going. Now, think to all my traders, we are trading in a previous area of accumulation. If you're looking at it on a daily perspective and a weekly perspective, even this is the low. Now, it didn't take out that high over there. This is an area where I'd be looking for it to be liquidity. But the matter of the fact is, we are already trading within that previous area of accumulation. Now, that doesn't mean we necessarily have to accumulate out of this area, but we have to think about logical objectives. Okay, logical objectives. If the objectives have already been achieved today, would it be illogical to think that we're going to turn around today and come back into this previous area of distribution? Right? Being so early in the day still, because it's still really early in the day. We got a couple hours. We got there's 6 hours before the market closes. Okay, so would it be illogical to think that we could potentially get a reversal or a turnaround point? And I don't think it's completely out of the woods yet, personally. Would it be the lower probability? Yeah, definitely. The higher probability setups are either longs below the 50%, right? In these areas of accumulation, or shorts in premium. And I don't know about you, but Dow, let's go to singles. One second. Actually, before we dive into Dow, I don't know about you guys though, but Dow doesn't look like. I mean, we could. Again, we're all of them are in areas where we could accumulate for a second, for a little bit. We're bearish overall, cool, but we also have to understand if we are bearish, the higher probable shorts are going to be on the higher end of this range. Higher end of this range. Okay, if we're just going to continue shorting, then just kind of let it happen without you. Because if you are in the short, then cool. Then, never mind, you're in it. But if you're not a part of the short yet and it's gone without you, the higher probability setup already took place. Yeah, and honestly, like, I jumped in front of this 3 times today, right? To jump in front of the longs again be a little ridiculous. Like, look at that candle. Look how aggressive that candle is. Look at this weekly candle. Look at how aggressive that daily candle is printing. S&P as well. Look at that. We're so close to the low of that candle. Let's see. Dow. Yeah, so for me, I'm looking at more days like this that doesn't take out liquidity, and we just take out some minor liquidity and continue going lower. Really, like I said, these were the setups for me that were 50% and above, still in premium and just made sense. Is that 1 hour imbalance there, stop loss above the high of the imbalance. I mean, look at that. That's a crazy risk to reward based off the 1 hour. And so these are the types of days that are very difficult for me to see prior to them playing out. Like, of course, everybody can see it very clearly now. But what I mean is, usually on days like this, when price action is coming down, I'm thinking like, oh, how can I go long? And so if you ever fall victim of days like that, drop some sevens in the chat. I want to see who sees a, it's right before New York Open, and all you're seeing is price action has been dropping all day. All day. Okay? This is basically all you see is right here. All right? Price action has been dropping all day. We're trading into a level of insufficiency. It happened to me. The reason I'm sharing this with you guys, because it's not the only type of days that I've seen like this, okay, where we leave so much upside liquidity and we just start falling and falling and falling. It's happened quite a bit of times. Like, check these out, right? The way that we drop is just so similar. Look at that. Look at this day. Look at that day, bro. We come into the open, boom, we just continue dropping. Like, it's days like this where we have little, like, I can see shorts, guys, right? Like, we all can see shorts, right? It's when the day has been shorting that whole entire day, and then it shorts some more during New York. Those are the days that I'm like a little bit thrown off, like today, right? Those are the days where I want to understand more. I want to know, learn, and assess more from each of these trading days, because they happen, and they happen quite often as well. It's like when you have a super bullish day and then it just continues going bullish. Oh man, I haven't seen a day like that in a while, because usually what we get is, if you're expecting bullishness, let's say this is the open, right? And I'm sure we've all been taught the power of 3, or have heard of the power of 3. If we're going to be bullish and we're aiming for these highs, basically at the open, what you're doing is you're going to look for short to then go long. You're going to look to short below the opening price of the day. The opening price of the day was right here, and you kind of want to short at or below the opening price of the day. That gives you the opportunity to be a part of the wick of the day, right? And so when you see a day that drops, right, what did we say the model was? The model is open, short, long, right? Short to long or long to short. So if we're looking at a short day, you're going to anticipate a long after during New York. At least that was my thought process today. But honestly, you have to think in terms of which direction are we printing. Learn that the hard way. I'm still learning. Look at Nas, bro. Look at Nas just dumping. Oh, man. Give me one sec. Okay, so let's look at some outlooks for CPI. Okay, realistically speaking, everybody, in which direction are we printing? Let's look at all three of them. Realistically speaking, where do you guys see the day closing out today? Bearish or bullish? Where do you see the day closing? Not like what price level. I'm just asking, do you guys see a bullish or a bearish candle closing today? On the three assets that you guys see up front, do you guys see a bullish or bearish closure? Ulysses says bearish. Anybody else want to take a guess? Where do you guys see this daily candle closing? Well, what do you guys see this daily candle closing? Do you guys see it closing bullish or bearish? Bearish, 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 bearish. Cool. Okay, so now ask yourself this. If we're bearish, okay, what can we be targeting? If we're bearish, what can we be targeting? I want you guys to ask yourself that. In terms of bearishness, if we are to continue moving lower, okay, as we've seen, we're getting little to no rejection across the board. Little to no rejection across the board. If we are to continue shorting, what is our objective? What is price's objective today? Where are we going, right? Previous monthly low. Yeah. It's a very likely objective for NASDAQ to go for the previous monthly low. S&P. Maybe S&P, in terms of NASDAQ and S&P, I would be looking at, we look at that previous weekly low, but I'd also be looking at this previous daily low here. Okay. Give me one sec. Yep, that previous low right there. Okay. On S&P. Dow is honestly, I would love if Dow came to 50% or below, but I feel like Dow is ahead of it, and it's going to maintain this level ahead with this bullish divergence. So for me on Dow, we're not going to create a lower low like we are going to create on NASDAQ and S&P. On NASDAQ and S&P, I clearly see a lower low. On Dow, for CPI objective on Dow, for me, we're looking at these triple top right here. That's my objective for CPI. I'm going to put it right here as well. I'm going to journal this as well. Across the board on all my assets. Okay. So then we have S&P. S&P, I see the double top that was created today for CPI. And hey, I could be 100% wrong and we just end up dumping for the rest of the week. That's cool. Like, that can 100% happen. And it's 100% okay with me. Excuse me. 100% okay with me. Just because I have a feeling that we're going to be going long tomorrow. Or I'm going long into CPI. Like I said, I could be absolutely wrong and everything, but I think let's go look at the forecast. We got to study CPI, right? How do I study CPI? I go to Forex Factory. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys the number that I look for here. So, as of lately, inflation has gone down a little bit. 1 second. I'll show you guys. There's year to year and month to month. And I look at the month to month one. I mainly focus on the month to month one. And I'll show you guys right here. Let's actually just go to a single page. Okay, you guys can see my screen pretty well. Okay, so these are like the CPI numbers for the past few months. And you can kind of see how price action has reacted. Inflation has only gone higher or stabilized. It's been kind of weird these past 2 months that it's gone down or stabilized a little bit, but you guys will see. Look, check this out. So I'm coloring with white, so that probably won't be the best idea. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so now you have July 2nd, 12th. Okay, that was our last CPI, and our previous reporting was 0.4. What they forecasted was a drop on 1 point, okay, of a tenth for the forecast, right? But on July 12th, we actually had a decline of -2 points, okay? So now let's go back and review as to what those -2 points had to do to DXY. So it was July what? July 12th. Okay. So you go back, look at this massive drop here. And see July 7th, 10th, 11th, and what do you know? 12th was the one that smacked through all those lows. So CPI. We had a nice CPI short. Let's see here. Yeah, it just shorted hard. Okay, let's go look at indices on that day. July 12th. Nice long. July 12th. Nice long opportunity there on Dow. And nice long opportunity here on S&P. Okay. Cool. Let's go look at June 13th. June 13th, it was stabilized. So if we go back to June 13th, we should see either like a whipsaw or either a build on liquidity or a sweep of liquidity. Okay. So now we can go back to June. What was it? June 13th. June 13th. I believe. Yep, right here. Okay, it was a nice little long opportunity. Right, it ended up playing out with a long. We had the sweep of liquidity right during news. So we hit liquidity, then we continue moving in the direction that the market was already moving in. Okay. Dow on the 13th of June. Let's go over here. '13th gets a major sweep of liquidity out of the lows. So just as we mentioned, we want to see like either a build on liquidity or a sweep of liquidity. So when it's forecasted to have the same reporting, when we're forecasted to have flat ratings, and then we report flat, that means that it didn't go up or it didn't go down. We stabilized and stayed the same. Inflation didn't get worse or it didn't get better. Okay, we will regularly just tend to whatever the market bias was, and we get this nice sweep of liquidity. Now, I noticed I'm sure you guys noticed that I kind of knew that before I even looked at price. It's because I've been trading these for a while, and it's not the first time we flatlined. Okay, there's been a couple of times where we reported flat, right, stabilized, and then we came out with the actual report and it's stable. And this tends to happen. I remember the last one though that we had, it was a straight up whipsaw. It was a straight up like down, up, down type of thing. It was really strong. Okay, now so we've seen when reports go negative, and then now we've seen when reports are stable. Okay, now what about when reports move higher? So check this out. Reports here were previous at 4.4. They wanted inflation to drop a little bit lower, and instead we came out and stabilized and didn't move any lower. So inflation didn't get better, but it also didn't get worse. But it did come out higher than the expected. Okay. And so now here on the fourth expected 4, and they got an increase. Let's go to March 14th, okay? March 14th. We're going to do a whole ass analysis on this, because I want you guys to be prepared for CPI. So, 1 second. Okay. So let's go to March. Where was it? It's March 14th. This is June. This is May. This is April. March 14th. Here we are. Okay, market was trading a lot higher. Okay, market was trading a lot higher into previous areas of distribution. How much of a coincidence is that? Right, that right when the market decides to trade higher, we have some reporting saying that inflation is going to go higher, meaning that indices are going to move lower. right? So you guys can see that here. Oh, where is it? 14th, 14th, 14th. Where is it? Right there. Is it 13th or 14th? Am I tripping? Oh, this is... Damn, we went all the way back to January? That's crazy. One sec. Still trading in a previous area of distribution, so my bias kind of stays the same in regard to this. But you guys can see that CPI reports higher and then just whipsaws lower. So this is what the whipsaw movement that I was talking about right here. Price action has the sentiment to move lower, struggling to move lower. Price action whipsaws to the upside, builds on more liquidity, whipsaws to the downside, and just builds on more liquidity. Okay, so for me, honestly, on CPI, positive reportings. When I see positive reportings on for indices, you guys got to understand indices are pretty bullish right now. Okay, indices are pretty bullish right now. So the fact that we're starting to set up pretty low in the range, what it tells me is that because CPI, what is the forecast? Let's go look at the forecast. Forecast is to stabilize. Okay, so the forecast currently we're at 0.2 and we're expecting it to stay the same, not to get any better, not to get worse, right? And so we're diverging on both NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow. We're diverging into discount, except Dow. Dow, it's in discount in the premium range. Okay, if you look at this range and then divide your premium into two, we are in discount of the premium range. Okay, so again, this just kind of comes to tell me that if we're going to expect stable numbers, we should expect the price action to go in the direction of which it was trending towards. Okay, and being that we're moving into into discount across the board, and we have these bullish weekly biases, for me, I'm going to be looking for longs on CPI for some continuations to the upside. Being that it is a stable forecast, I won't be trading CPI. I won't be participating in it. There's not like a direction in which is very favorable, right? Like it could either just flatten out. It's a high volatility folder, and we can just, again, get a nice whipsaw of just the downside, upside. So for me, let's say I was to get in the longs tomorrow, I wouldn't hold it beyond, because again, I'm expecting CPI to be more of a whipsaw type of movement, one that's either going to just build or sweep liquidity. Okay, so I don't think that we're running for liquidity during CPI. I think it's more going to be that type of movement of whipsaw. So we'll leave it there. Now, here's the thing. Here's where the kicker is if CPI reports lower when we expected it to be stable, or if CPI reports higher, okay, and the Federal Reserve has been stating that they think they got inflation under control. Everybody thinks that inflation's under control because we had a negative 2-point drop, right? And then CPI reports higher. Inflation comes back. Everybody starts freaking out, starts pulling money out of the market. We end up shorting really, really hard. Scenario 1, right? Now, scenario 2 is that was scenario 2. Scenario 1 is staying stable and going with the forecast. Okay, scenario 2 is inflation gets worse, we print higher, right? And then people are pulling out of their money of the market, and then indices start moving lower. Okay, and then now we'll actually see probably the Dow previous monthly low. Okay, that scenario is the one that I'm leaning away from. I don't want to see that happening. Okay, ideally. The one that I'm leaning more towards is we end up having another negative report, right? This is the favorable one. We end up having another negative report. People are happy. Inflation's going down. Federal Reserve are going to look like fucking heroes. And then everybody's going to start dumping their money into the market. Okay? Two scenarios. That's the one I'm more leaning towards, though. I'd be very happy with some more longs. I honestly have an easier time buying the market than I do shorting it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys, but if you guys ever noticed that, but I have a way easier time going long on the market than I have, going short on the market. So I'm more leaning towards let's have some, decrease on inflation or stabilize. People feel safer when inflation's going down or they got it under control, and then that way they'll continue to put money into the market, and therefore the market indices will go higher. Koi said, let's see. Actually, Ulysses says imbalances. Savannah says previous monthly low. Koi said same but opposite. I'm guessing you can see sales a lot better than you can hold your longs. Yeah, it's it's an interesting thing for sure. In terms of Dow, let's ideally wait till it gets into discount. Nasdaq, we're bearish enough where we can check this out. We came rebalanced price completely, so we came back to that previous monthly low, that previous weekly low, and rebalanced priced immediately. So I do really like the shorts continuation on Nasdaq for the next couple of days. My eyes really go down below this low into this previous area of accumulation that has been there, right there. Okay. I don't really look at candles too much. Maybe it's something that I need to work on, but that imbalance gets my attention. I know we see that candle, but the imbalance really gets my attention more than the candle. So anyways, that's my bias for CPI. In terms of Nasdaq is probably the only one that I don't have that bias for, and it's mainly due to the fact that it's bearish on the weekly. Dow is bullish on the weekly, and S&P is still bullish on the weekly. So that's why I feel a little bit more confident about the longs on these guys than I do on Dow. Nasdaq. Nasdaq does not feel like it to me yet that it's ready to go long. At least as of right now, it seems like the weakest asset. So if I am going to go long, it'll probably be S&P. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If I do end up going long, it will end up being S&P, or Dow. But, anyways, guys, do you guys have any questions, comments, or observations before we do end up wrapping up the call? Do you guys want to look at any assets? I did see that somebody got on some gold longs. Let's kind of go through that. Yeah, you know what? Gold. It's been fucking people up. I thought it was going to go long from here. I don't trade gold. I just mark it up now. I have too many students that trade gold, so I find myself looking at it quite frequently. Yeah, I mean, the thought process was to see gold go long. So check this out. So you got to look at it in this manner. Okay, if we are going to go long from this imbalance, 50% or below needs some liquidity. This was my liquidity last week, my internal liquidity. Okay, but now since it's a new week, we have this internal liquidity. So personally, I do think that it's a really good, now it's really good to go long out of. Follows all the steps, but Now you just need like a confirmation of bullishness. Until you see that, I would just hold tight. You know, you're not gonna miss anything. There's a long. What's cool about swinging these is that I'm more than sure you're either gonna target this previous area of distribution or this previous one up here. Okay, and or maybe even bigger. Okay, but looking at it this way, where is it? Right here, we have some pretty obvious objectives. We're looking at some highs, right? And because we are looking for some highs, I don't anticipate price to just like fly up there and then all of a sudden I'm bullish. Like, I highly doubt price is just gonna go up and up and up and up and up and not give a single retracement for an entry. So if you are looking at longs, I would say wait for clean evidence, not something that's gonna make you question. I'm not saying this is questionable, but I'm saying not price action that's gonna make you question it or look at it twice. And just position yourself. If let's say we're up here by the time you end up seeing that a good entry. Okay, yeah, we're above these highs, but you're still got like all of these objectives that you were looking at over here. So just because you didn't catch the entirety of the move doesn't mean you didn't catch any of the move. Like, you can literally catch it right there, be out, and then just catch a bag and go on about your day with your bag. Don't go giving it back. Yes, I got clapped on the long this one. Oh yeah, I think we all did. And again, it's a matter of studying days like that we're not used to trading. Like I said, most of us see price action really low in the day and immediately think go long. And we can't automatically just think long every time we see price action low. It just can't. That can't be the strategy. But that's really the strategy a lot of people are relying on. Okay, so be cautious with your trading. Trade responsibly. Remember, it's CPI on Thursday, so we still have tomorrow. And just, be cautious. Because tomorrow is the day right before CPI, right before some high volatility news. You guys, already know how to handle those, right? Don't overexpose yourself the day right before news, the session right before news. You don't want to blow all the parameters, all the funds, or all your equity just for one trade, one setup. Like, you don't. Or by the time that your setup ends up playing out, you don't have any more equity to play with, right? So anyways, guys, I'm going to let you go, okay? I appreciate you guys for being here today. I appreciate you guys for always tuning in week after week, day after day. I love how much the community is growing. If you guys would do me a favor, let me know what more you guys would like to see of. Would you guys like to see more crypto, more forex assets? I'm thinking here in September, being that it's my birthday month, bro. I'm thinking that I'm going to do like a 30-day stream. Not stream for 30 days fucking straight. That's crazy. But do a live stream every day for 30 days. More than likely, all of those are going to end up being during New York around this same time right now. So I'm thinking of doing that for September. Stay tuned, because I'm pretty sure I'll be doing something similar like that. More than likely, we're going to be trading, hopping on the sessions. I'll have some guests. We'll have some guests. We'll trade together. We'll do lots of meditation together. Of course, like a 30-day meditation. You know what I mean? Holding each other accountable to being better for a good 30 days, enough to start building a habit out of the things that we end up practicing throughout those 30 days. So whether it be journaling, meditation, I'll do all of those things with you guys. I'll be doing my meditation, my journaling with you guys, and I'll be looking at charts, markups, doing everything with you guys for a good 30 days consecutively. And on the weekend, you guys can kind of see what I do on my weekend. I know on the weekend I disappear off the face of the planet, off all social media. And, a lot of the trading community goes absolutely mute. And that's one of the reasons why I'm like that. It's because the trading community is fucking mute on the weekend. And I absolutely love that. And I take advantage of that. But just letting you guys know, in September, we're going to be starting that. We're going to be doing a 30-day long stream every day challenge. And we're going to be doing a couple of accountability things that we got to do together. And we got to get these things in order prior to the first session. And mainly for me, it's going to be more rounded on meditation and journaling. Journaling, not just more crypto, please. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Actually, stay tuned on that, because one of my mentors actually hit me up recently asking me to do a stream with him on crypto. So we could probably start even like a crypto playlist on this community as well. But for sure, throughout those 30 days, we'll look at cryptos. We'll look at other investments like metals, commodities, options, shares, stocks. I'm looking at UPS. I've been eyeballing UPS for a while. We'll crypto for sure. I got some crypto ideas. I'm not really balls deep into crypto space as of yet, but I am well invested into it. So we'll definitely talk more on crypto. And yeah, journaling. Journaling is going to be a big one. That journaling part of things is going to be a big one. So if you're someone that doesn't journal, that doesn't reflect on their day, that doesn't know where to start with meditation, with trading plans, any of that, I highly, highly encourage you guys to stay tuned in for those 30 days. Okay, we're going to build a better version of ourselves, and we're going to be able to hold each other accountable to it. Okay, again, stay tuned. I will drop announcements. I'll send out flyers way before I start it. And then at the end of the 30 days, we'll do a giveaway. Okay, so I'll definitely give you guys more details on the giveaway. But I'm thinking a 50K account. I know last time we did 220Ks, but I'm thinking a 50K account this time. One lucky winner of a 50K account. I know a couple of individuals, including myself, who a 50K changed our life. Like, it changed the game. Okay, so we'll be doing that. Lots of more information coming. So with that, guys, like and comment. Let me know what you guys would like to do during those 30 days. Any suggestions, comments, or observations that you guys have made. Share this video so we get more individuals going on this call, on this movement, so we can get more opportunities to win. The more individuals this channel flows, the more giveaways we'll definitely be doing. It's not something that I'm shying away from, or I'll be shying away from at all in the near future. I want to do monthly giveaways. That's my goal. Monthly giveaways, build on the community, bring on more individuals, put more individuals on, get a peace and profitability state of mind across the board. Not just a couple of us, but hundreds, thousands, million of us with a sense of peace and profitability. That's the goal. All right, guys, take care. Thank you guys for all your love and support. Have an amazing rest of your day, and clap easy. Peace.